Welcome back, everyone, to episode 12 of the Likely Lads podcast. This week, we're talking about mental health. It's our last episode of the mental health block and also the last episode of season 1. Before we get into our topic, how has your week been, Mike?
Yeah, not a bad week. Sorry to our out-and-out fans who listen week in, week out. Sorry, it's a bit late. Probably when this goes out, it's probably a week late. But I was on
Been busy,
I've been on an outdoor adventure trip. So which was allowed. It's before anyone starts. So it was allowed. Boris has said education's allowed to go ahead. So I've been busy, so I couldn't for a comment.
You got a bit of good news as well, no?
Yeah, so obviously this week's been pretty fun-filled good news for us. So we've had, obviously, Monday, English rugby's back, and they've announced that our university varsity is going to go ahead. So I've got to go from Homer Simpson now to Dwayne Johnson in a couple of weeks. So that's going to happen.
Doable challenge.
And then the Tuesday, we had the Lions tour announcement saying it's going to go ahead. So can't wait for that. And today, as we're filming, WRU have announced that rugby's going back on May the 1st. So
in Wales.
Great week so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Whilst we're on the topic, when we're filming today, it's Gareth Bates' birthday. So happy birthday, Batesy boy. Hopefully, we'll see you on a Super Saturday soon.
Yeah, need to catch up.
Back to the podcast malarkey now, is it? How's your week been?
Yeah, good. Ruction Saturday, Super Saturday, just gone. I think Welsh fans are holding their heads down, but we shouldn't because it was such a good performance from the boys. France just done us, didn't they? Done us in the last minute.
Yeah, I think Sky Bet took
I know,
a few killings on a couple of bets as well. But yeah, it was one of the best games. Like, I think I've watched every game of the Six Nations now. That's been the best game, I think. That was flat out the best game because you couldn't take your eyes off it because, like I think I was saying the other day, there was 4 tries in 20 minutes. I think I've watched a game of rugby really where there's 4 tries in 20 minutes in a long time.
Yeah, and when France come out and scored in the first 5 or 10 minutes, I thought, oh, here we go, we're in for a ride behind now. But boys came back, didn't they? Came back hard.
Yeah, and it's pretty shitty. Obviously, we talked about social media with Lloyd, I think, about how the impact of social media on mental health and all that. But it's pretty shitty about some abuse that the players were received over the weekend after the match. I think it was aimed at Liam Williams.
Yeah.
So it's pretty shitty, but
it's mad because his yellow card. Nigel Owens come out and he said it shouldn't even been a yellow card.
Yeah, but
everyone's abusing him.
It is what it is. It was a yellow card. We lost, but it's just a game. Generally, even when we are playing, it's literally just a game, and people get so worked up and pissed about it. And at the end of the day, they're just playing it. So
it's like you on Fortnite, that is.
Yeah, just a game. Just remember that. But quality episode with Max last week. Great to talk about his brand of top clothing, and so far they've raised such a fantastic amount of money for Calm, I think it was. I forgot this. I know it's been a week and a half, but they've raised such a great amount for Calm, which is fantastic. And we've even sorted out some stash, so we'll get a photo in that and get set up. We could be models for him, man. I mean, face for podcast, face for
Can't wait to see my ugly mug on the website.
Yeah. So far, Dec, obviously we've done 2 episodes of the mental health now. How's it been? What's your thoughts about it?
I think it's definitely changed my outlook on mental health. I can't say, well, I knew a bit about it, but it wasn't I knew loads about it. And then when speaking to Lloyd Ashley, he was talking about more the positive side and stuff. And I just never seen it that way. I always seen mental health as a negative thing.
Yeah.
And then same with talking to Max. Max said he didn't know anything about mental health prior to his business. And then he just, when he's talking about it more, researching, he's learning. And it's the same for me and you, I think. Just by talking to 2 individuals who are so involved in the mental health scene, it's just, I've learned a lot from it.
Yeah, and yeah, we sat here, and as much as we're sort of questioning them, we are learning by questioning them, so via their
Yeah,
answers as well, because obviously each person has their own views on something. And when you tell someone something unconsciously, they might sort of change the wording to make sure they understand it better. And like with Lloyd, I just found it outstanding. It was like he was on our podcast, but he was lecturing us at the same time. But
yeah, literally.
it was amazing. And for the people that haven't listened to it, generally, please go check that one out, because I think even if you're not suffering from mental health, you'll definitely have a little bit of awareness about it, and bit of what to do if you are. Because
And he's seen how to spot the signs, didn't he?
yeah, because you're such a great character as well, and obviously he's a pro rugby player as well, so fantastic guest to have on.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely doing this block has helped me, certainly, especially coming back to university has helped.
yeah.
Yeah, right. What's your own experience with mental health? Let's kick it off with our bit.
My own experience with mental health. I think I struggled most. I think I touched on it before. In college, I found college quite hard. Done 3 A levels. Didn't enjoy my first year. I took French as a subject, and um, nothing wrong with the teacher or anything, but it just didn't click with it. And I found myself not going to lessons, and I was like, I'm not going to go to this, not going to that. But I sat through the whole year, wanted to drop out. But I'd done the exams, passed my first year, and I dropped it. Went into the second year, and I kind of felt the same with biology, which is like, I'm not enjoying this. The
Mm.
workload is absolutely insane. So it kind of put me into a spiral where I was like, am I doing the right thing? Should I just drop out? Should I go get a job? Should I go to university? And I was just thinking of so much stuff that I kind of just put myself into a rut. And then I was just like, I'm not going to university. I'm not going to do this. I just want to leave. I want to win money.
Mm.
And I never saw it as like my mental health is bad. I never saw it as I got really bad anxiety or whatever. But I knew I was just feeling pretty shitty. Do you know what I mean? And I just
Yeah.
thought there was that. Didn't think anything into it really. But now I've taken a year or two out and I've matured and I've taken time to like reflect on myself and stuff. I want to go to university now. I want to go and do stuff, and I think it's just time. Time has helped me understand myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so if you were to reflect on that time now, so obviously you said at the time you didn't really notice your mental health was bad now. So
Yeah,
was it 2 years on, 3 years on? Do you realise how bad you actually was?
yeah. I was like not wanting to turn up the lessons. Like
And I know that's not you, is it?
no,
Because you're quite a teacher's
academic
pet, good
person.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
I just didn't want to go. Like I had friends in college, obviously, and I just didn't want to turn up. Like if I knew I had this lesson or that lesson, and I was just like, nah, I'm not going to.
yeah.
I'm going home. Like, so I think that was a big thing that I should have noticed, and I should have just kind of like I spoke to my mother and stuff about it, but I stuck it out, and I'm kind of glad I did now because I can go to university and stuff 2 years after.
Yeah, I think it's a tough point for everyone, especially. I know we touched on it in one of our episodes, but you've got to stick college out. You've got to, because the same as GCSEs, really. Stick them
Yeah,
out. I know it's hard sometimes, but stick it out, and you'll be put your best foot forward once you're out of it, really.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. What about you, anyway? What's your experience been?
to be honest, I was probably the same with Max as last week. I've never really struggled. I've been a pretty happy boy growing up, pretty sound. I think the only time that my mental health has struggled has been since coronavirus, and that is God honest truth. I wouldn't say I've ever been affected by it, so anxiety, depression, mental health, sort of them. Before coronavirus, I was totally fine. Obviously, I know someone's asked, but um, game nerves and stuff like that, yeah, that's natural.
Yeah,
That's part of mental health. But as in like proper depression, sort of really felt shitty, sort of like you did. I've never had it, and only now with coronavirus, there is a time that I've been like really bad and really felt like I not needed help, but I needed like a couple of days off from everything.
reassurance,
Yeah, a couple of
support.
days off from everything and just sit there and watch Netflix and drink Diet Coke and eat a big bag of Doritos. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I had a couple of days like that, but that helped. You know what I mean? I was like, right, you need to shape up here, and that's it. Because I did bit of CPD with Dr. Alex
Oh
from
yeah.
Love Island, and he was on about mental health and all that. And my mother sat in and listened for a bit. And one of the questions was, "Can you put your hand up if you haven't suffered?" And I put my hand up. My mother went, "Put that hand straight down because you have."
Seriously?
Because she was like, "You might not think you've suffered, but I've had the brunt force of it. Like, to me, when you're in a bad mood, you've put me in a bad mood because I can't do anything for you." And like saying you're angry and upset, and I probably was some days. And like, I don't know whether I mentioned it, but I've mentioned it with you. Like when I've gone on a walk with you and I just haven't spoken.
Yeah.
And I know I have to go on this walk to keep fit, keep active, see my mates, but I just haven't spoken to you because I've just been really angry and upset. And it's out of character as well. I think when you are suffering from mental health and these types of things, you are out of character. And it's not you, like you said about you're quite a teacher's pet, good boy in academics, etc. Like when you're not like in college or school, it's out of character from you, so it must be
Yeah.
something wrong. But
But like you
yeah,
said just now, like even you just said, like you didn't realize it was mental health was the problem. Like
yeah,
when I was there, I knew what mental health was, but I didn't know what it felt like, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I've never. I mean, you sit back and reflect, and you're like, shit, that was a really bad time for me. Once you realize
Yeah.
sort of what mental health is, what it was, and like you said, what it feels like, because um, since doing these podcasts, these episodes, I'm able now to reflect on a time where I was like, yeah, I was quite bad there,
Yeah.
and perhaps I needed to shape up or see someone or seek help. Talk to people is the big one, like we talked about.
Yeah.
What is mental health to you? I know it's probably changed for both of us over the last 3 episodes, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely look at it now as a more positive thing as well as negative.
Mm.
Probably more so positive with the episode of Lloyd Ashley. But like I kind of like take in the good stuff in my life more now,
Yeah,
rather than like dwell on, do I have anxiety? Do I need to worry about this? Do I need to worry about that kind of thing?
yeah,
Kind of need to look at life more as this is what's happening now. Live it now and enjoy it while it's happening before you need to worry. Like I'm a
yeah,
massive worrier.
yeah. You
Um,
are.
if there's anything I'm worrying about, this is probably in the future, and I should worry about it until it comes. And my
Yeah,
mother's always told me that, and my nan, and my father, and everyone. But I can't help it. But now I just like to live in the present, um, and just see it as a good thing, rather than worrying about things that I shouldn't be worried about until they come.
yeah, definitely, because there is positives in life for the moment, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? When I go to Costa now, they've made my latte, right? That's a positive. So
Yeah,
just be positive and don't worry about so much the negative parts, because everyone has negatives and everyone has problems within a day. But as soon as you sort of, like you said, worry about the problems or or look at the negatives more than the positives throughout your day, that's when you're going to be
it
angry,
takes over.
upset, uh, peed off, see that it's a shit day. And I suppose the big thing is there's 7 days in a week. If you have one bad day, you've had 6 good days. Do you know what I mean? Stuff
Yeah,
like that. So
exactly. But
yeah,
how do you look at mental health now? What's it to you?
I think, yeah, like you said, it's definitely more positive now. Like, I think when I left, I keep name dropping all the time, don't we? But as soon as I left Lloyd's episodes, I realized how good summer was. And like,
Yeah,
when me, you, and obviously our mate Connor's talked about it, it was actually unbelievable. I know we had coronavirus in the backdrop of summer, but it was unbelievable. I absolutely enjoyed every day.
yeah, I loved it.
I was training hard. I was having beers with my mates. I was going for long walks without phones, without service. It was just a slot
In in
talking.
flow.
And the word is in the present, because
Mhm.
you can be there and not be there. And sometimes, like I said earlier, I went on a walk with you. I was there, but I wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? I just was in the world of my own. But a lot of last summer, I was in the present, like taking everything in from what we was doing. We was training hard. I was getting fit. I was eating healthy, and these weren't
Yeah,
like I was looking at my health and looking at my eating habits and thinking, well, I need to change. I was just naturally doing it, and it was sort of unconsciously. Like, I know you trained hard in the gym, and we all trained hard. I think it was because we never knew. We've never been in this experience before, and hopefully we'll never
Yeah,
will. Do you know what I mean?
never again.
It'll never happen again, hopefully.
What are the
But
chances we live through a pandemic then?
yeah, so yeah, definitely you realise more positive than negatives now, because even if I look back over the years, like I know I mentioned earlier about Super Saturday, that was another unbelievable day where I was at my happiest. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
there's been days again, like when I got into varsity last year, when there was an announcement and I got in, I was at my happiest. When I trained
yeah,
for varsity, I know it was hard and sometimes it was grueling. I didn't want to do it, but I was at my happiest. I was doing something I like. And don't get me wrong, it's been bad days between then. But if I focus more, like I said, if you focus more on the happy days now, you're definitely going to be a lot more positive. And if someone can take that leaf out of not our book, because we're not counsellors, we're not experts, but if
definitely.
someone can take a leaf and say, right, this is a positive, that day has been a positive, happy days, crack on.
You do tend to remember more of the positive days than your negative days, which is obviously way
Yeah.
more beneficial. Like we went on tour. That's probably one of the happiest times I've ever been on. Hard, hard drinking every day, but it was good. But like you don't remember, I don't know, May 13th last year when I was unhappy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It don't last forever, do they? I mean, that's the cliche saying. I mean, bad days don't last forever. I mean, as much once you're in the time of the bad days, it feels like it's going to last forever, but
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't.
gone.
It generally doesn't. It's gone within a day. And I think the other saying is like control the controllables, because you can't control the uncontrollables. So, like you said about worrying and stress, you can't control the uncontrollables. So don't
Yeah,
worry about it.
exactly. And that's what I need to think. But off that now, what's like you? I don't. I hope you don't mind me saying it, but like you said to me a couple of times, a strategy to help you deal with your anxiety and stuff and your worries is by writing your problems down in your notes.
Yeah.
How does that help you?
Well, it's just sort of like we just said, like it doesn't last forever. Like my big problem is money. Like, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely dreadful at handling money. So like, I generally kit as well. If anyone listening now has got kit on offer, I'll end up buying it off you. Generally, I can't cope.
What about you,
But
pink budgie smudgers?
yeah, yeah, smugglers. Yeah, I can't cope. I mean, but like, yeah, writing notes for me was a little thing just to, and I don't mean it's when I feel bad or feel down, I just go into my notes and I'll write down all my problems at the moment, sort of like gaining weight, simple ones like that, gaining weight, spending too much money, worries about university, natural sort of worries, but I just write them down and I forget about it, man. It's gone and done with sort of thing that, do you know what I mean? It might unconsciously help me that they're in the thing, because it's about 4 months worth, say. So there's December last year, say February last year. Didn't do any over the summer because I enjoyed myself. I was happy. September time before coming back to university, I think I wrote some just sort of worrying about perhaps I wanted to push on into the first team in university, do well in university academics, try and be a bit more organised, spend less money.
Yeah.
So I mean, simple things like that. It has, I would say, it has helped sometimes. I mean, I just
And
forget about it.
it's crazy because it was only like well we'd be walking for ages because of COVID and stuff. But it was only on like one specific walk where you turned to me and you were like, look my notes, this, that, the other, this is what I'm worried about. And I was like, I didn't know you were worried about that. I've got
Yeah,
like some of the similar worries. And then like you said to Lloyd Ashley, that's when we went on a walk and we were like talking more. How can we deal with this? How can we deal with that?
yeah.
That's what helped me. Just talking to you helped me, and talking to like my mother and stuff. That's
Yeah.
what strategy I use because I can
I,
get it off the chest.
and to be honest, my mind's like a sieve. Generally, you could tell me you're having a bad day, and I'll forget by tomorrow that you had a bad day. It's pretty horrible thing to tell you, to be honest now. But yeah, like this week we haven't spoken at all. This is probably the first full day we've spoken, because obviously I've been busy with university and just haven't been on my phone at all, to be honest. And whenever I've come home from university, I've just gone straight to bed at mid-food and gone straight to bed.
Yeah, and I texted you yesterday.
You've texted me most days saying how you been. We haven't spoken. Do you know what I mean? And would we have done that last year? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? It just would have been like, he's busy or whatever, or we haven't
He'll
spoken.
text me when he wants to
Whatever.
talk.
Yeah, and probably wouldn't have done it. But I think obviously this block has helped us realize, like, just to check up, and I mean, it's free to send a text, free to send a Snapchat, just how you been, how's your day, and I realise it more since going to university that, especially now, I am away from my mates so much
Yeah.
that just text. I mean, how you been? I mean, how's the many girlfriends you have, etc. I mean, can make someone else's day. I mean, it's not really about my day; it's about someone else's day, and we are slowly opening up to each other about certain stuff for me. So, like, yeah, it's getting better between us.
Yeah, definitely, because I think we kind of like, as banter, but we rib each other all the time, to me. All the time. It could be about anything, girls, drinks, rugby, absolutely anything. Like, there's been a lot of times where I've taken the piss out of Mike because of his ass and stuff, because of Canyon ass. But at the end of the day, I know I can still turn to him and be like, yeah, I'm in the rut, yeah.
Yeah,
I need some like.
And I think me and you certainly know, and between the boys that we are friendly with, that there is a line between banter and, like, shit, you are bullying me, you. And we understand that line and how to deal with it and sort of like sort it out. So I mean,
It's a very faint, like, tell you what.
Yeah, the other strategies sort of that I use, obviously you mentioned the notes. The big one for me is talking to my mother. It is absolutely massive.
Same for me.
Yeah, and I think if you can't talk to your mates or you can't talk to sort of the helplines and stuff like that, just reach out to your mother, because I was going to say something quite crude, but she gave birth to you, so hopefully she's able to help you through these sort of tough times. And I think what I quite like about my mother, she's pretty brutally honest as well. So
Yeah.
like, and my biggest problem with mental health is when there's something wrong that I don't know what's wrong, and it winds me up so much that, right, there's something on my mind that's winding me up, but I can't sort it out. So I'll ring my mother. Obviously, I'm angry because obviously this thing's pissing me off. So I'll ring her and I'll be like, right, there's something on my mind that's winding me up I can't think of. I should be like shouting out all these different things, this, and I'd be like, no, right, and then I hang up then.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because she said all these stupid suggestions, so I'll hang up, and then I'll remember the next day, or I'll forget about it. There's not a problem. Do you know what I mean? And I'll ring her back in the morning. She'll be like, have you calmed down now? So I have to apologise. Do you know what I mean? And she does listening. Yeah, she does take brute force, like, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's my biggest strategy, is just speaking out to my mother, certainly. But yeah, me and you are getting a lot better as well. So
yeah, I think you always have that. Well, not always. Some people don't, obviously, but you have that unconditional bond with your mother, or with a guardian, or whoever in your life. And they are generally the most easy people to talk to about your problems.
And I think the other thing is that, no doubt, they've gone through it as well. Some of these problems, some of these stresses, some of these things that you're going through now. No doubt they've gone through it or seen someone go through it. But yeah, but obviously you guys probably have your own strategies that help you. Certainly carry them on. Yeah, if it helps you.
If you know they work, yeah.
Yeah, you do it. But like you say, we're not counsellors, we're not experts. These are just things that sort of help us on our bad days, and yeah, just help us. Lockdown mental health. How's it been?
Well,
I think we can laugh now, innit?
Yeah, definitely. Looking back now, I genuinely see the first lockdown as like such a positive, like, experience ish.
Yeah.
Like, there were definitely days I thought, it's quite repetitive. I don't want to be doing this. But the rules were you could train in like groups of 6 and stuff, and I genuinely enjoyed like just going over to the Stars, our rugby club, and just doing our own session, or doing a session the coaches put in for us to do throughout the week, and then just going for a walk down the beach up Goita Res, and having a few beers. Like,
going back, neck and nominated, Copperbergs. The sun was boiling. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you've got any better than economics, even though you had some
No,
practice doing that.
squash. But yeah, I think like obviously I got rushed home from university in the first lockdown, and
Yeah.
I've built a bond with my grandpa because I lived with my grandpa at the time that I probably would have never built with him because at the end of the day I was living with him 3 months, sort of
Yeah.
not seeing my mother, not seeing my sister. It was just me and him. Don't get me wrong, his food bill went up, but um, it, it was a bond that I would never have built with him ever. Probably like I
We
got to
wasn't
know,
living together.
yeah, I got to know certain things that he likes, certain things he don't like, stories about my gran, just stuff like that. There was one day we were sitting out in the garden, literally in our boxers because that's how warm it was, and he's quite a shy and conservative bloke. He wouldn't have done that.
No.
So I don't know what came over him, but um, yeah, it was weird the first lockdown because everyone was in the same boat. I know no one was working because it was quite a serious time, and I think everyone does forget that. Certainly, I tried to forget and not remember that people are dying. Like
Yeah.
we're quite lucky at the moment. It's not really affected our family members or outside family, friends, etc. But
Extreme. Yeah.
yeah, people are dying, and I think some people, especially youngsters at the moment, have forgotten that people are dying. They're just flaunting the rules now because it's coming to the end. But we need to keep going, and because I don't want it to be a family member of mine. I don't want
No.
to be a family member
I
of
don't.
yours.
I don't
So,
want to be anyone's family member,
so
realistically. But
it's just we've got to do it. So, but yeah, like you said, the first lockdown, I think my mental health was pretty positive. Like we said, I was training hard. I was having a beer, having good sort of okay. Yeah, the first month and a bit was socially, I was pretty down, but then you were at home. I had the Xbox. I had my
yeah,
grandpa. I mean, it was FaceTime, Zoom quizzes. I mean, a couple of socials online, which was fantastic. But
and I
then,
know it sounds stupid, but it was something new. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it was new. You haven't experienced it before, have you?
Yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, 3 weeks off work, lovely," until it became
Nah,
2 months.
16, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was
But yeah,
ages.
yeah, definitely. It was a new experience for everyone. Everyone's just like, right, just got to get it done. That's
Yeah,
it. Get it done. Get out of it. No one really knew the extent of coronavirus at that point either, really. So just cracked on, and yeah, positive experience to be honest. Especially that thing, and I think it talking about obviously lockdown mental health. I think mine got gradually worse, really gradually, quite quickly. I'd say from the September October margin just went downhill, not spiraling downhill, but downhill in a sense because obviously I came back to university September. I was training, playing really hard. I was a lot fitter, stronger than what I've probably ever been. Enjoying my rugby, that's the big thing for me as well. I was really enjoying my rugby because I think once you play a sport, and I don't want to direct it at rugby, when you're playing a sport for so long, for years and years, it can get tedious and boring. And I
mhm,
think that break really helped me realize how much I really like rugby and how much I can't
mhm.
wait to get back playing. Like, do you know what I mean? So when I came back to uni, we was hopefully on the out of coronavirus.
Yeah,
So we were training hard, playing hard. It was nice to see my uni mates for quite a long while. And then just lockdown after lockdown then when and Christmas went in a flash and
yeah, I know.
here we are.
And also, the government saying we could have, X amount of days over Christmas was something
Yeah.
to look forward to. Then we couldn't have it, and
Yeah.
then I think after Christmas, it's just quite tough on everyone because it's just repetitive now. It's the same stuff. You
Yeah.
can't. It's probably more strict, even though the cases coming down,
Yeah.
and you can't do the same stuff as what you did on the first lockdown. Like I know
Yeah.
you did. You went for a walk, and you've seen a couple of the older people from the
Yeah.
stars said this has really affected them,
Yeah.
and it's not nice to think about. Like I know I've struggled, but you don't know how much people are struggling or to what extent they're struggling. Like
Yeah.
it's sad the suicide goes through people's heads and stuff, and it's not nice to talk about, but it does, and it does affect people. And I just wish you know you could spot the signs easier. I probably can now because of the episode with Lloyd Ashley, but do you know what I mean? You never know if it's going to be too late or something.
Well, like you said, you didn't know that I had problems and I was writing stuff on my phone.
Yeah,
It's one
exactly.
of the things that's impossible to see, isn't it? Until it's hard to say too late. It's impossible to see until it's too late. But yeah, definitely, like you said, I've seen older gentlemen on the beach, and they say how tough it is for them now, because their relief sometimes is rugby, is watching rugby, is having a beer, and they haven't done that since last August. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot longer than we've sort of had for being active, just in that sort of sense. Like, I know it's not rugby, but we still can be active. Whereas
We go for a run and
yeah,
stuff.
these older gentlemen can't have the beer with their mates and watch live sport or watch sport. So yeah, and I think this lockdown affects everyone's mental health different, really. I mean, there's people who, like my mother. I'm not saying she's a hero, but she's worked every day of this lockdown from March in Tesco's. Do you know what I mean? And like, she doesn't really mourn. Do you know what I mean? The odd customer pees her off, but she don't really
Yeah.
mourn. She don't come home and mourn. Like, and the NHS and all the people who have worked have been heroes. Do you know what I mean? And I'm making an assumption here, but I suggest their mental health has been up, down, to the side, to the back. Do you know what I mean? Quite.
But
Um,
they don't talk about it or show it as much, do they? Like, I know my
yeah,
mother certainly doesn't, even though she does work every day. And
yeah, and you just get on with it. And it's heroic. Is that the word? Heroic.
yeah,
They
I'd give
can
you
just
that.
get on with it.
Definitely.
Advice for people suffering. I know we've sort of said it, but with our own strategies. But I think I'd refer it back to just a couple of episodes. I think Lloyd and Max both said it, is talking, because it's
Yeah.
free, it's cheap. Just
Well, it should
talking.
be.
Yeah, it's just talking. Just go speak to your mates. Go speak to your family. Speak to strangers. I know we open up our Instagram account for anyone to message us saying, I'm really struggling. Do you mean, can I have a chat to you?
Yeah.
And we're totally fine with that. I mean, one of us will pick it up, and one of us will certainly have a chat with you. But
No, definitely. I just think being more positive as well. Like, think about the more positive stuff, or if you're going for a walk, give someone a smile, give someone a wave,
yeah,
even if you don't know them. I know you said this before. But you said, like, in Wales, that's
yeah,
natural to us. We do it all the time, to me. If I walk down
yeah,
the beach, I could see anyone, and I'm just like, oh, all right, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But up in England, they don't, which
yeah.
is it's crazy. But like,
It-
if you did do that in England, you probably would make someone's day. Do you know what I mean? Or they could be like,
yeah,
"Well, what's he doing?" A little bit of a freak, like. But
yes. Since coming to Gloucester, that's why I've certainly noticed. I told you, like, when I've gone for a walk around the Keys area and stuff. Do you know what I mean, you get the odd person who'll smile and do you know what I mean, you wait for you to cross the bridge, for example. But there's
yeah,
loads of other people that don't do that, and like I think Max texted me the other day, funny enough, that our voice is quite infectious. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that he quite likes listening to the podcast, etc. Do you know what I mean? A smile could be infectious to anyone. Do you know what I mean? If I give a smile to someone crossing the bridge, they could be like, "Oh, do you know what I mean? He's positive. Happy days. Perhaps I'll be positive a bit more," and stuff like that. And like,
oh, he's buzzing.
yeah, and like, yeah,
Joking.
I'm min broke. Um, but yeah, like you said, being positive is the big one. Like, about anything. And
Yeah,
I
talking.
think, yeah, I know I'm going off topic now, but being in
Does
your own, being in your own head, do you know what I mean? Your own thoughts in your own head. That's sometimes gets me down. So when I'm just
oh, absolutely.
thinking. I know you said you worry, but I just think, just
Yeah,
absolutely think, and it does my head in.
the
But
worst one when you go to bed, isn't it?
yeah, just get out
And
your
you know
head.
that time.
Just I know since we started the podcast, you're slowly getting into podcasts, and I suggest the good, the bad, rugby too. And you've listened to a few of them on your walks now, and I think podcasts are good for release. And I mean, because they're in your ear. I mean, you just listen to that, you just go for a walk, and like if a podcast is on for an hour, go for an hour walk, come
Yeah,
back. Do you know what I mean? Like just walk. You don't have to have a route or anything,
it
really.
makes you feel involved as well. Well, especially to the ones I listen to. Like, it
Yeah,
feels like you're in the conversation, even though you're not.
yeah,
You're not even talking.
yeah,
And it may sound stupid, but you listen to it and it feels like you're there, and it just takes your mind off stuff, makes you go for a walk, get the exercise in, and before you know it, you're going for an hour and 20 minutes, like, do you mean?
Yeah, I know we're not that good, but hopefully we involve our listeners in the conversation. But advice, so talk, I'd say, exercise. I don't know if you got any more. Be positive.
Be positive, and talking is the big one for me.
Yeah, just reaching
You
out.
want, sorry. Do you want to say why we wanted to start a mental health blog on the podcast? Or?
Well, we originally didn't have a plan. So
No.
when we first started the podcast, my big aim was just to help as many people as we can. And Declan sort of agreed that if we can talk about topics that help people, that even if that's one person, even if one person replies to our podcast episode saying that really helped me, I'd be happy with that. And hopefully we've helped a bit more than one person, but I'd be happy with just one person if that was it. And I think mental health is such a big topic. I think it was one of the first things you said that we needed to talk about straight away. And I was, thing. And like we said, we try and keep our episodes short and sharp. And it was such a big topic that we couldn't get into one episode, and we just felt we can get some proper guests on as well and talk about it. And so that was the reason behind the blog, and sort of the reason behind the whole podcast idea. If we could help people and bring positive to someone's life, then why not do it? But
no, definitely. Like,
what's your thoughts on the mental health blog?
Well, I know we had just ideas, didn't we? Like before, I think it was a week before or 2 weeks before we started, we just sat there, just brainstorming ideas on one day. Oops. And I was like, mental health. I said, maybe we'll do on the third episode. And whenever it kept coming, we were like, oh, okay, maybe not. And then towards the end, we were like, this is such a big topic at the moment with everything like going on with lockdown and seeing stuff on Facebook and social media about other people suffering. We were just like, this is a lot bigger than we think. Like, because we were a little bit like naive to say, I don't know if that's the right word, but we're like, we need a big episode, to get it across to our viewers, and I think it has. Definitely, the Lloyd Ashley one was a big hit there.
Yeah,
and Max talking about his experience and stuff, even though he hasn't experienced much, but the knowledge he's gained throughout his mental health experience and stuff, and it's shaped us as well, 110%.
Yeah, and well, like you've sort of touched upon, like a lot of people we're seeing on Instagram, especially from our account and our own personal accounts, are openly coming out saying they've been suffering from mental health and no one knows. That could be a positive to them. I mean, when people openly come out on Instagram to thousands or 100 followers, so 100 people know they are struggling, you're going to be flocked with messages and saying be strong, you can do this. It can help a lot of people. Like a lot of people like their lives quite public. A lot of people like their lives quite private. So it's up to preference. But yeah, definitely we felt like we should definitely do a block. And I think there's 12-week margin. I know it's sort of 12 weeks and a half now, but especially the podcast has gone quick, gone slow. So sort of leads us on to the next bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of a podcast review over the last 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So first thing we're going to talk about, I think, is the Instagram. That's kind of boomed, didn't it, since we started?
Yeah.
I think within the first 3 days, we had 300 followers.
Yeah, which we didn't expect.
We were just looking at that and like, well, whether or not we like it, this has to go ahead now.
Yeah.
We like kind of have to do this podcast. But yeah, the Instagram's absolutely boomed. We've had a lot of feedback as well. Like, I think the first bit of feedback we had was we don't like the ending part. So Mike was like, we needed to change that up, and we haven't heard anything bad from now on since.
We always want to make it better, don't we? So, and neither of us ever want to put out a poor podcast or a poor podcast episode, because we enjoy doing them, and we never want them to be bad for you guys, to be honest. And if it is bad, then just tell us. You just be like, Deck, Mike, didn't enjoy that.
That was awful. Yeah, and we have.
and
We've had a couple.
we're fine with that. I mean, we're aware of some of the ones that weren't great, and some of the ones, and we know why. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we can go from there. But yeah, Instagram wise, I think we've done well, and I enjoy having the. We try and do question boxes quite often to get people's answers, Instagram questions. That's what I enjoy because, like you said, they can be part of the process of us going
Yeah.
through.
And we
But
do
yeah,
get regular engagements to me.
yeah. We get proper replies of people. I mean, some not so serious, some serious,
Yeah.
which is a part and parcel of it. And I think I don't know whether Lloyd touched upon it in the podcast or when it was just us three, but he was saying about like you're gonna get some stick for setting it up, but the stick is a lot less than the positives you get out of it. And I know you was quite worried about, I mean, the sort of the shit we'd get for setting up a podcast.
Yeah.
But like the positives out of it is more than the shit we would get. And
Well,
to be honest,
I mean, I'm too far deep. Like,
yeah, and to be honest, we didn't get any shit. To be honest,
no.
like probably behind our backs, they're probably saying,
"Oh, absolutely."
Them pair of bloody numpties don't listen to that. But the people that do listen, and we've got quite a big audience. I know we're quite happy with that as well. We got quite a few listens.
Yeah, we've got a good number. Definitely.
Over our 12 episodes.
Insane, actually, but
we're quite happy with that. But yeah, we're not doing it for fame or for shares or just
or for the listens. But
yeah.
No, we're not even doing it like we didn't start to like I want to get surplus of 3,000 listens or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, they come, and as long, like you said, as long as we help one person, then
I'm happy. Yeah.
So
our first thought was only be rugby boys and family members, and
literally
we know it's a lot more than that now, which we're certainly happy about. But what has been your favourite episode?
Even though it's kind of not a fun topic, but it was probably Lloyd Ashley. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
With the mental health block. I think I learned the most from that. Kind of learned a lot from the Katie episode, Katie Ely, with the disability sport. But my favourite probably Lloyd Ashley. Yeah. What about you?
I was going to say that probably near enough the same. I enjoyed Katie's episode. That was a good one because Katie's our mate as well. That was a fantastic one. But I also enjoyed doing the body image one because I think even that was our second episode. I know the weeks have flown by, to be honest. That was our second episode. But I think that one helped a lot of people as well, and really didn't expect because from us pair that it'd be that deep. But yeah, to be honest, I've enjoyed them all. But I think Katie's one stands out because it was quite one of our most serious ones out of the first couple of weeks. So
yeah, but we still have a laugh with it. Like, although it is serious, we're just a pair of blokes, and we like to have a laugh with it.
Two boys.
Yeah. What's your favourite topic been so far?
Well, I can't even remember them. That's how bad my mind is.
Shocking.
Mental health's been a good one to talk about. I know it's pretty cliche as we're on a mental health episode.
Yeah. Joking.
But that was been pretty good. Donkey, Chris Williams, that was a good one because talk about how he goes from refereeing local Sunday rugby to going out to Italy to referee and stuff like that.
And he said he gets the same enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, so and he was refereeing Sunday rugby. Whilst going out to Italy to referee and doing it for free, and that was amazing topic to talk about. Katie's one again. KCM was pretty good on health and fitness and how she's helped so many women. That's been a pretty good one. And our first episode, the reasons why we started it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. It's mad, isn't it? This was going to come up later, but the reflection from now to then. I mean, I was there I started doing every sentence. I still do it now, I'm not gonna lie, but I started confidently now.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your favourite topic?
I don't know. I enjoy the mental health one. I do enjoy that one. But I think I like the health and fitness one. I think it related a lot to me with KCM. I also enjoyed the social atmosphere one. I think that was
Yeah.
quite a laugh.
Yeah.
But like you said, I enjoyed them all, and
Yeah, we wouldn't do them otherwise.
well, yeah, exactly. Maybe one or two of them I was like, okay, I could have gone a bit better.
Yeah.
But definitely, if I was to pick a top three, it'd be the Lloyd Ashley episode. It'd be Kate Ely episode, and Chris Donkey, I think.
Yeah.
What about you? You do top three.
Our first one, Lloyd, and I'd go with body image. I think that was a pretty good topic to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your favorite quote? And I know we've got 12, and when I said we were about doing it, we had to scan through all the quotes that we've done.
Yeah, and there's some really good ones in all fairness. Like,
yeah,
it was quite
we haven't messed about, have we, with the quotes? It's been
nah, like
quite a big thing of our podcast.
I forgot some of the stuff I even said, and looking back, and I listened to the quote, and I was like, "Go on, Deck boy, come on." Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Where did I get that from?" But my favorite quote is probably the one Max said, which is, "If you could be anything in life, be kind."
Yeah.
What about you?
I've just picked our first one, and I think it was by me as well, so it makes it better. Manners make us man. I think just manners mean everything, and I know it's quite.
But you touched upon this before, that every single episode, when we didn't even, it wasn't intentional, but every single episode has linked to mental health.
Yeah, so
in some way, shape, or form.
Before, like, I mean, we even thought about doing a mental health block. We've unconsciously linked every single episode to mental health, and because it was just a big topic, and we've done it on accident. I mean, because we've gone from body image, which affects mental health and fitness, which affects mental health, disability, which affects mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I just slurred all that then, but
yeah.
I think they get the idea. And then a mental health block. So, I mean, I think, we've unconsciously done it, and we didn't realize it until I really, like you said, reflected on it and give a good evaluation.
So you meant to make us look better then?
Yeah, I meant to do it.
Wink, nudge, nudge, like.
But yeah, well, the last quote is our last point is reflect. I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed doing the podcast, and it's probably been best thing I've done, to be honest. In the sense that it's kept me motivated. Don't get me wrong, it's been hard over the 12 weeks. Like, sometimes,
motivation as well.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just be like, oh shit, I can't be asked to do it this week. Do you know what I mean? And like the first couple of weeks, we was on the ball, we planned things. I think it got to week 6, didn't it? And we was like, generally, I cannot be asked here. I just cannot be asked. I was like, and then we just pulled ourselves together and like, right, we can do all the planning. Do all the planning from this week. I'll set this up, and we don't have to worry. Because I think I was coming back to university, I had assessments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I had loads on my plate at the time, and I was just like, I cannot be asked. But it's been the best thing I've done, certainly.
Yeah, for me, it was weird. Like you rang me up saying, like, we start a podcast. I was like, what do you mean we start a podcast? And I was like, I'm not going to enjoy it. I don't even listen to them. I wasn't interested, really. But I done it. And I think after like the first 3, I was hooked. I was listening to like 2 or 3 podcasts, different ones, when I was going for a walk or a run. And it has really helped me, because if I wasn't doing this on whatever day we record it, what would I be doing? Like, I'm on furlough. I can't play rugby. I mean, all I do is wake up, cook me my brother's food, and then maybe go for a run or a walk. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely helped me. Keeps my brain activated, and
yeah, definitely. I think it's one of our Instagram questions, but it therefore kept us connected as well. Do you mean like
absolutely?
Like we said, we haven't spoken this week, and it's been sort of a worry, like especially in your sense, because you worry a lot. But like, when are we going to record the podcast? When are we going to plan the podcast? You text me like, oh, what are you doing then? So, but yeah, it's definitely kept us connected, and I think it's kept a lot of other people connected. People are week in, week out, listen to it and send us feedback.
I think a lot of people can relate as well. Like, obviously at the start we were a bit of a blubbering mess, and we were like we wouldn't really be that confident.
Yeah.
But the more we've gone through it, like, I don't think people realise we still get nervous 30 seconds before recording. Like earlier, I was like, I have to go for a nervous poo, like Jen, and
Yeah.
like you said, that was the first episode you said that went. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can relate to us because we're still at the end of the day, just two blokes chatting wet half the time. But
Yeah.
no, it's been good.
I think Lloyd touched upon it. Keep name dropping him. He needs to start paying us for
Love him.
jobs.
Yeah.
But he mentioned it, how much work goes into this podcast behind the scenes. Like you guys only get I know this one's gonna be a bit longer, but you guys only get the 30-minute thing, whereas it takes us perhaps an hour and a half to actually plan it. Do you know what I mean?
That's just the planning, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we want to make good episodes, and that's without the 30 minutes before on Zoom trying to make a coffee, tea, toast, nervous poo. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot goes on behind the scenes, but we enjoy it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. At the start, we had a lot of people reaching out to us saying, "Yeah, we do the designs for you and stuff," and at the end, they had their own stuff to do. So Mike was like, "Right, Deck, you got to do the designs, boss," and I was like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean? I've got a creative born in me, like." But
yeah, we are thankful for them boys to sort us out.
Absolutely.
Designs, but yeah, Declan, I can't thank you enough. Like Mr. 80%.
80%, baby.
who does all the editing, does all the designs whilst I'm busy doing other things. Me keeping my right arm big. He does all the hard graft. I just upload and make the odd Instagram post here and there. But enough waffling. Right, Instagram. I'll go first. How do you deal with pre-game stress? Obviously, you're a captain of the youth team at the time. How have you, and obviously you had first team experience here and there. How have you dealt with pre-game stress?
Goes back to one of the previous episodes I said when you asked me about how I deal with being captain before game. But I think when I wake up, I'll have my brekkie. I'll be feeling all right before I go down. I'll have a Red Bull, get the blood pumping, sugar levels high, music's on blast. I mean, and when I get there, I just like to get my kit on and just chill. Like if I go out and train and I have a good training session, I'll be fine. I'll be absolutely fine. But if I'm worried about something or if it's a big old game, I do get really nervous. But I think that's fine. I don't turn nerves into like a bad thing. If I got like a little butterflies in my stomach, as they say, then I know I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do my all. Like, but as a captain, like you said, I'd kind of focus on other people before I focus on myself. Like I know I can go do a job. I just make sure the other boys are up for it. The other boys are in the zone, kind of thing. Yeah, I think that kind of answers it. As long as other people are good, I know I'd perform. I just bring the team through with me. Like, what about you?
I'll be honest, I'm quite a nervous guy before a game. Like, generally, it could be absolutely any game. Do you know what I mean? The odd once or twice, I'll be totally fine.
Confident.
Be confident. So I just thinking, just do the job. But I'm quite a nervous guy, and I think I deflect onto others. So I remember you brought it up the other day about your first senior game, and I just kept telling you, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous? You shitting yourself. You shitting yourself." And that's just me deflecting how nervous I was. I already had the first team experience at that time, but I was still nervous. And that's me.
Bless you.
Every first team university game last year, I was absolutely crapping my pants. Every single one. Like, it didn't matter how thing it was. And only towards the end of last year, I was like, well, I deserve to be here. I've worked hard. I deserve to be here. I'm just going to back my own ability. And that was when I sort of lost the nerves. Obviously, I was still a little bit nervous, but I lost the big nerves that really affected my game, because sometimes you'd go into the warm-up bit and you'd drop 3 or 4 rugby balls and you'd be like, right, that's game over for me. And even during the game, if I drop a ball during the game or I mess up a move, my head's in the shed. Yeah, my head's in the shed massively. And that's the worst thing for me. But I think the stuff you do pre-game, that helps. So obviously a good night's sleep, perhaps packing your kit the night before. So when you just leave, you just pick up your bag and go.
Yeah.
Breakfast in the morning. If you're lucky, get it done for you. If not, get up early and do it for yourself and stuff like that. Just minimize everything that you could stress about in the morning before the game.
Yeah.
Normally helps.
No, definitely. But I think pre-match nerves
Natural, yeah.
is just natural, and just try and thrive off it instead of putting it back. Like just turn it into confidence and
Yeah, just
back
back
your own
your
ability.
back your own ability. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next one. Mental struggles with rugby. Do you want to kick us off, or do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah. I think everyone gets it. Sort of, like you said, pre-game nerves, back your own ability. Do I deserve to be here? Have I earned my place? Nervous about loads of things, in there. You can resilience. So injuries.
Yeah.
I am being picked for the first team this week. I'm in the second team. What do I need to do to get back into that first team? Stuff like that. They can struggle you, and I think what makes you more resilient sometimes as well. Like there's been times that I've been on the bench and I'm thinking, right, I'm better than that bloke, but he's getting picked ahead of me. So what do I need to do? And like I said, it makes you more resilient. Makes you train harder, makes you play harder, and sometimes makes you enjoy your rugby a bit more. Like because you just out there playing the game, and I think obviously I'm a number 10 through and through, but I do play in the forwards. But when I'm enjoying my rugby, that's when I play my best rugby.
Jouer.
Yeah, when I'm playing, yeah,
Yeah.
jouer.
Yeah.
But that's when I'm
Biggest
playing
mental
my best
struggle
rugby.
with rugby for me is probably injury. Like I know it's not to do with rugby, but I've had like a back injury now, and when I can't do something, it just absolutely fries my brain. Like I want to do something, I want to get better, I want to get stronger, I want to get faster, whatever. If I can't do it, then I'm in the rut kind of thing, and I just
Yeah,
want to get better. But for rugby, like if I'm not getting picked, then I know I just gotta try harder. Like I'm
yeah,
not gonna put it down as to, um, you know, whatever. I don't know where that was going, but um, if someone's getting picked ahead of me, I know I just gotta try harder. And if I know my skill is better, then I know
yeah,
I'll get picked for the next game. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. You best ask this the next one because I think you're saying than me as well.
Oh yeah, okay. What's it like balancing uni, podcast, and rugby?
Um, Struggle sometimes. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think like we touched upon my notes earlier, just being more organized. Yeah. So I mean, you can be ultimately organized, but something can spin you off. Do you mean? But yeah, sometimes it's a struggle. Do you mean? Because obviously the weekend they had an OAE trip, so we couldn't do the podcast, or we could have done it, but I didn't plan in advance, so we couldn't do it in the week before. Do you know what I mean? So simple things like that chuck me off schedule, and like you said, if you was busy this week, you wouldn't be able to film it again. So we could have been 2 weeks behind. Do you know what I mean? So planning in advance. We're quite lucky. We haven't really got rugby at the moment.
yeah,
But once that kicks back up, I think me and you, definitely have to plan a bit more ahead
yeah,
with both our training schedules, our playing schedules, my university, your work life. But yeah, it can be a struggle, but I suppose it's like juggling anything, really. You've just got to plan in advance and make time. As much as there's not enough hours in the day sometimes, you can make time to do these things. Um,
especially when it's a hobby and it's something you really enjoy.
yeah,
I mean,
if it's something you enjoy, you'll make time for it, wouldn't you? So um, if you said to me in episode 6, make time for the podcast, I've probably been like, nah, get stuffed. But
yeah,
now I'm really enjoying it, and um, enjoying having a chat too, enjoy people listening, enjoying the feedback.
yeah.
It does
But you
help.
are busy with uni now, and I think that has kind of
It's got to come
shifted your
first.
focus. I mean, yeah, shifted your focus
Yeah,
definitely. So
because when we started it up 12 weeks ago, that was at the time where I wasn't in uni, so all I had
yeah,
was the podcast. But now I'm back in university, and everything, hopefully, fingers crossed, is coming back to normal. Rugby's back, pubs are back for a beer, be able to socialise with mates, stuff like that. We're gonna have to be a bit more organised to be able to carry on doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How much has having the podcast helped throughout this lockdown and in total?
Definitely a lot. Like, I was like experiencing not anxiety, but just like obviously worry and stuff. I didn't have anything to focus on. Like, I didn't I was on furlough. I had no rugby. I picked up an injury, so I couldn't really weight train. So I was just not doing anything really. Like, walks
Mm.
is be the most exciting part of the day. And I got to a point where I was just having like brain fog. Like, my brain wasn't getting activated, so I was
Yeah.
literally doing. Oh no, I shouldn't say that actually, just in case teachers watch. But I was
Yeah.
doing some chemistry homework. Let's just say that, even though I'm not in college or anything. But focusing on the podcast has definitely helped. Just using my
Yeah.
brain, talking about it, and being involved in the conversation. That's what I was going for.
Yeah. You haven't done, like, obviously I had university work to
Yeah,
keep active as well as the podcast, like, but you had nothing to keep your brain ticking over, and like I suggested to you to do some pre-reading for university next year, as much as we all hate reading. Just do some pre-planning, whether that's
yeah,
sorting out your student finance or accommodation plan, stuff like that. Just do some pre-planning. But then the only thing with pre-planning is if you pre-plan too early, then you're gonna have nothing left to do when it comes
yeah.
to it.
Literally.
So, but yeah, it's definitely helped. I mean, like we touched upon now. This episode's dragged on, so I do apologize for a lot of people, but unlucky. Um, um, it's definitely kept us connected. Like, obviously, we went on a few walks and when I was at home and stayed on the Xbox. But it's a different type of connection. This podcast is it's a goal.
Project.
It's a joint goal and a joint
Yeah.
adventure, a joint journey sort of thing that is different to killing people on Fortnite and stuff like that.
As
So
much as we joke about like 80%, 20%, we're just in it. We're just in it to have enjoyment and have a laugh. And over the 12 weeks, we've definitely gotten more confident on the podcast and off it.
yeah, well, I said before we jumped online that we don't know who's listening. So I could walk down the shop now and they'd be like, "Have you heard that voice? Do you know what I mean? That's the like lads, do you know what I mean?" Stuff like that. Stuff like that. But you don't know who listens to you. Like, we get some stats, but we don't know you individually. Like Gary from Nottingham has listened to episode 6. Like, I mean, we don't know individual stats, but yeah, we don't know. Listen, so perhaps as a person, I am a bit more confident now to talk to people. We've certainly got more confident at doing podcasts, and
Yeah.
once you start listening to some, like you said, about engaging the audience and stuff like that, it's really helped.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I think some of the feedback we had from the first like 3 episodes was literally people saying like, leave out the ums, leave out the ums, the ahs, the Fs, the Jeffs. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I was taking it all on board and bossing it.
we're smashing them out now.
We are.
Yeah, that's it. Season 1 done and dusted. Episode 12
And
done and dusted. So
please.
thank you very much for listening, guys. I know it's a bit longer than our usual one, but we've had some things to cover today. So hopefully you enjoyed. We're going to take a couple of weeks off, but we've got some big things planned for when we come back.
Yes.
So hopefully they will be positive. Well, they are positive things, but hopefully,
They are.
hopefully they'll be good as well. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening throughout the season. If you're one of them fully fledged fans of the Likely Lads,
No fake fans.
yeah, we don't accept them.
No.
But thanks for listening. All the best. Keep safe and well, and keep active. I think is the keep positive,
definitely.
keep active,
And talk.
and talk. Yeah.
It's been a good one. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
And
See you
see you soon now, hopefully.
See you soon. Bye.